I'm Jonathan, and this is Anti-Purist.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, to the BMW F20c E30 build. Enjoy.
First shot is before we took the car up to the shop. This is where we just took the hood off. We're looking at some stuff, kind of trying to figure out maybe what.
Measurements and stuff.
Yeah, trying to figure out maybe what it would take to pull this off. And this is after we towed it up to the shop. Started pulling the motor, and as you can see, the other project in the background.
Which sucks.
Hey, the two together. It's F20c in the background with the M20 up front.
Measurements here as well. That's why I put them so close to each other. More or less because the S2000 has a larger bell housing than the M20. So we were checking that out.
Shot with the motor out. The car was a super clean car when my son bought it, as you can see. I mean, literally the only rust is that little spot that's right there in front of the radiator support and on the edge of the trunk where they always do it at. But the car, as you can see, is super clean. We didn't clean it, no pressure washing, nothing. That's just with the motor out. This is us just kind of, actually, Jonathan did this. I wasn't up here that day when he did this. So kind of setting the motor in, hanging on the engine hoist, trying to see exactly where everything might go. And this is without the oil pan on it, which we'll discuss later. So.
No, oil pan's on it.
Is the oil pan on it?
Yeah, this is what the pan's on it. I'd made the brackets for the motor mounts, the base plates, and then I just couldn't wait for you, so I just picked it up myself and put it in there.
This another motor we decided to buy. Well, actually, I decided to buy it just for mock-up because the F20c and a full transmission, pulling it in and out as we're doing all the measurements, just takes. It's way too much work.
JDM points for the Buddy Club oil cap.
Yes.
Is that 5 or 2?
Don't know.
-1.
-1. So that motor is, the bottom end was messed up in it, but we just basically needed it for the block and the head. So
we pulled it all apart. You can see this. We pulled it all apart. You can see the scoring on the cylinder walls and the fantastic bearings. It was like we found gold.
yeah, it definitely looked like we were panning for coal. It was pretty bad, so as you can see, but it was cheap. So
if you have a blown up S2000 motor and you'd like to sell it to us cheap, let us know. We'll take it.
all of them.
All of them. If you have an F22 that you blew up, we need one.
So this is with the motor in.
This is pan off, motor in, and we're using stuff to hold up the motor into where we're thinking about putting it in. So luckily with Cream buying the second motor, what that did was, hey look, the computer's not there. ADD. With buying the second motor, we could strip everything off, but we could have the oil pump there and everything like that, so we can kind of test fit everything, and it'd be pretty light and easy to move around in comparison.
Here's a side shot just showing the position of the motor in the engine bay, which we know everybody's going to say, oh, it's too far forward, but it's actually very close to where the S14 would be in the E30 M3s. There is some parts that go over the fan that give it an illusion that the motor is further back than it really is in the M3, which I actually bought that.
I think we have some pictures of that as well.
Yeah, we do, and I did buy that, and you can see how much closer it makes everything look. So
this is more or less the height of the engine in there, because the biggest thing is we don't want to have anybody have to cut the hood or destroy their nice, beautiful car. This is really for people who want to do a very clean swap. Not intrusive at all. It's minimal stuff that you have to do, if any.
And, turn the car back to stock fairly easy, but you won't after driving it.
Oh, snap.
I agree. Mocking up the turbo kit that we're going to put on it, that Cream doesn't want to put on it because he's a bitch.
Yep, that's one not going to fit to...
Oh, it's going to fit.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Listen.
Hell no. To the no, no, no.
As you can see, we're using some tank bearings. That's actually tank bearings to hold up the engine. Here's the hood shot.
Full webbing under the hood with the with the hood pad on, and it still clears. Everything clears great.
And the radiator in to see the distance between everything.
Yeah, huge.
Hey, it's your two cars together. They're both broke.
Yep. Well, they're BMWs, so yes, they're both broke.
This showing up front, just showing how much weight we lost off the nose of the car.
Yeah.
No, not talking about you buying a bunch of tires for no reason.
Yes, Trofeo R's, because good enough for McLaren, good enough for BMW.
Motor in the car again. Hood clearance, better shot of it. Webbing. Yeah, I mean, that's full stock hood with the pad. Doesn't touch. Overhead shot with the motor in. This is pretty much when we were getting to the final stages of it. Getting everything done. You can see the mock-up motor on the side. That's the car with the swap in it. You can see the difference between the weight off the nose of the car.
Oh, yes, inside of the drive shaft. So to make the drive shaft for the car, we use part S2000 drive shaft and part E30 drive shaft. And when we cut the S2000 drive shaft in half, we found a rolled up piece of cardboard or paper inside of it.
Shifter. That was before making the shifter.
Yeah, it was a little far forward where we wanted it to be. It wasn't far off at all, so yeah, it was close.
Don't buy cheap fucking Chinese starters.
Yeah, so we bought a starter for the car because the swap, Jonathan purchased the swap a long time ago, and a bunch of stuff had gotten, I guess it's been 4 or 5 years. So,
Well, no, I don't think it came with the starter or something like that. I had to buy that starter was the one I think that I bought.
yeah,
It was the aftermarket one that I bought for my S2000.
yeah. So it was. I'm not gonna say where we bought it from, but all of these starters would be the same whether you bought it from AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Napa. It doesn't matter. Any of these Chinese-made starters for the S2000s, do not use them. Snout broke off of it. We thought maybe it was a fluke. Went and got another one. Same thing happened again. Went to our local Honda junkyard, bought a factory used one. Hadn't had a problem since.
So this is the car. The swap's in, everything. We're just working on wiring, which is not something that would have to be done on your end anymore because we got everything taken care of. That's that. And then the wiring's not cleaned up or anything. We just we're like, screw it.
Yeah, we're basically just testing to make sure everything works before we're not worried about cleaning it up until we make sure everything works. So that's why it looks a little messy there. And then, but that was still with the factory suspension. It had, however many miles on it. As you can watch, you can see in a short video, it's, it needed to all be replaced, which we did here. We bought.
Yeah, that one.
I
don't remember what you did.
Coney adjustables, but I can tell you that I'm happy with them as far as the ride is concerned. But if you ever have to adjust them, oh my God, it's pretty much to have to pull all that stuff off to do that. It's a pain in the ass. But we did Coney adjustables, HR springs, and the car. Oh yes, here's a shot showing it from the side with everything on it. We also did the BMW E90 drop hats in the front to bring it down. I think it was another 1/2 inch, and it looks absolutely perfect, and it rides like a damn dream. I mean, it's unbelievable how well that car drives and rides.
There's it with the Trofeo R's and the RPF ones and with the center caps, mind you.
Yeah.
The fenders need to be rolled. Yes, it didn't roll around like this. This was just a test fit. We still need to roll the fenders and everything else like that. Here's it slightly cleaned up. This is after we did the suspension, slightly cleaned up before we got the valve cover, the spark plug coil cover. This is pretty much how it looks.
Yeah, this is the way the car was driven around. Like I said, is we were trying to just make sure everything was good before we spent too much time cleaning too much. Okay, all right. So I did get all the dirt off the car, because keep in mind this car sat outside for a couple of years, so to be cleaning the mold and stuff off after driving it. So that's the parts that we were talking about. It's a fan cover and a wiring harness holder for the E30 M3s, and I think the 318s use the same one, so we just got all those parts. And yeah, so this is a video of us just backing it out, and playing around with the limited slip, because as we found out, it is a factory limited slip car, so as you'll see in a second.
So no, well, the biggest thing was that car with no suspension on it, is the stock stuff. It felt like you were gonna roll that bitch. Well, first of all, the seats have like nothing to hold you.
Yeah, no side supports, no lumbar supports.
No lumbar supports, no nothing, and
yeah, with the state, it feel like you were just gonna slide out of the seat.
Yeah, and then not only that, then you just. The car just leans so much, like it's like picking the left front up almost.
Can he drive? Can he drive? You know what DK stands for? Donkey Kong? Drift King. Drift. What do you mean, drift?
My drift skills aren't on point, I guess. And then this is
a practical joke. Yeah. So I told him we needed to drive it again, because what we were trying to do is figure out why VTEC wasn't working, which we figured that out later. But in the meantime, I decided to turn on the rally anti-lag and didn't tell him.
Thanks.
Dylan, because I spit hot fire.
Yeah, it was good, and then it spit hot fire, like Dylon. And then this is when the suspension's on, it's wet out.
Yep. First time we got VTEC to work. Car is quite lively.
It was raining. This is the last drive we have on video because
we just what do you mean?
We suck at taping stuff.
Oh yeah, that we definitely did. We're trying to get better about it, but then we just didn't care. So
Like, comment, subscribe if you'd like to see more of this fluffy mic.